In this tutorial, I'm going to demonstrate what is probably the most common strumming pattern on guitar. It is often called the down, down, up, down, up pattern, and this pattern is everywhere. Beginners will never get very far on their guitar learning journey without bumping into this strumming pattern, and it's a little bit tricky. But I've taught this to dozens of beginners, and with practice they're quickly playing this perfectly. And you can too. So let's have a listen to what this strumming pattern sounds like. Now, the most important aspect about this strumming pattern, or any strumming pattern, is that the downstrokes and upstrokes are placed correctly and follow the pattern's sequence. The name down, down, up, down, up actually refers to the sequence of downstrokes and upstrokes which we have to execute. D is for down, U is for up. To play this pattern properly, this sequence must be correct. To help you understand why, let's take a very quick look at the music theory behind it. But don't panic, this won't take long. Now you may be wondering why downstrokes and upstrokes have to be in any particular order. Well, downstrokes and upstrokes sound very different. On a downstroke, your pick or fingers strikes the bass strings first, the thickest strings. This produces a very loud, powerful, emphatic sound. On an upstroke, you strike the treble strings first, the thinnest strings. This produces a far lighter, quieter, more delicate sound. Placing these powerful downstrokes on the strong beats and delicate upstrokes on the weak beats ensures our strumming pattern has a strong rhythmic drive, which is conveyed to the listener and to our fellow musicians. This is what a bar of music looks like. If we had to count this bar of music, we would count it like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next bar would be the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add a guitar chord to this, the chord of G, and let's add some notes. These notes tell the musician which beats they should play. In this case, the musician should play a fairly simple rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. These beats are the strong beats of the bar, and these beats should be played with the downstroke. So what the musician has to do to play this bar of music is play a G chord 4 times with a downstroke, like this. To help you follow along, the letter D in my example stands for downstroke. So I played that bar through 3 times, and it was kind of boring. What we need to do, and quickly, is spice this strumming pattern up. And we can do that by adding more notes. These notes will fall in between the downbeats, in between the strong beats. And these notes are called offbeats. They are weaker than the strong downbeats. They should be played with an upstroke. Let's see what the bar looks like when we put some offbeats into it. So we have squeezed another 4 notes into this bar of music. There are now 8 note heads in the bar. This tells the musician that they have to strum the guitar 8 times during this bar of music. The way we would count this bar is largely the same, counting the strong beats as 1, 2, 3, 4. But we need to place the weak beats in the bar as well. And we do this by using the word and. So the count becomes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If we look at the very top line, this tells us whether we need to play a downstroke or an upstroke, with downstrokes being played on the strong beats, upstrokes being played on the weak beats, the in-between beats, the ands. These changes should make our strum pattern far more interesting. Let's see what it sounds like. This strumming pattern is actually used in many songs. One song which I use to teach beginners is Whiskey in the Jar by Thin Lizzy. Here's what it sounds like. So we've learned how to count our bar of music. We've learned that D stands for downstroke and U stands for upstroke. So what we need to do now is we need to change our bar of music to make the strumming pattern that we want to play. The down, down, up, strumming pattern. Watch this. So we now have the strumming pattern that we're going to learn. Down, down, up, down, up. I'm going to do two things which will make this easy. First, I will remove all the information from the bar of music that we don't really need to know. We only want to see the order of downstrokes and upstrokes. Secondly, I'm going to grab my guitar and I'm going to demonstrate how to play this pattern. Now, with our strumming arm, what we should do is we should keep it moving up and down all the time. We don't want that arm to stop. It should be like the pendulum of a clock. The way that we carve our strumming pattern out is just by contacting the strings when we want to strum. So our hand should always be moving up and down. That really helps to keep our upstrokes and downstrokes in the correct order. I said it really helps. What I mean is it is essential. You must do this. The minute your hand stops, you've missed a stroke, your strumming pattern is upside down, it's going to feel a bit weird and a bit wrong. So let's now strum our down, down, up, down, up pattern. The first stroke is a downstroke. Now we have to follow that with a second downstroke. And then an upstroke. So that's the first half of the pattern. Down, down, up. Now you may have noticed that I made a rather exaggerated movement between those downstrokes. And this is intentional. It's often a good idea for beginners to copy this. By copying this, you will ensure that your hand doesn't get stuck down here, making the next stroke an upstroke when it should be a downstroke. So, a nice big loop, and then your downstroke and upstroke. So we're now halfway through, and we have to play the last three strokes, which are up, down, up. Look where our hand is. It's high on the guitar. So we have to travel all the way down in order to be able to execute our upstroke, followed by a downstroke, followed by another upstroke. And that looks like this. That's probably the easiest part of the pattern. Up, down, up. Not much to think about there. So if I was to play the whole thing, down, down, up, down, up, just like that. Down, down, up, down, up. And the aim is to be able to play this smoothly, consecutively, on and on, throughout whichever section of the song that you happen to be doing. well done on making it this far. I hope this tutorial was helpful. There was quite a lot of information in this tutorial. If this is the first time you have encountered some of these concepts, it might seem a bit overwhelming. But for the practical purposes of playing the strumming pattern correctly, all you need to remember is what is on screen now, the order of downstrokes and upstrokes. And all you need to do is to follow that order exactly. To give you more practice at this, I'll be making some play-alongs featuring simple chord progressions played using this strumming pattern. Please subscribe so as not to miss these. And please also take a look at the other tutorials on my channel. My beginners play-alongs are designed to get you guys playing great songs quickly. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again.